Today I'm printing up something really cool on my Anycubic Photon S. I've got this alien plant. Hey guys, what's going on? Michael here. So it's a fun week this week. I've got my new Anycubic Photon S and I'm doing a print on it. So it's important to remember that you need to handle these resins safely, and the manufacturer gives you gloves, which are just a nitrile glove that they recommend that you use, along with a face mask. Now, the face mask isn't really anything to write home about. If you really want better protection, you should probably wear a respirator, but you can also, of course, ventilate outside. So being a woodworker, I am well versed in personal protective equipment, and I would definitely suggest that you take the time and invest in something to keep you safe. So my printer is pretty much set up. I gave the resin a little shake, and as you can see, I'm adding some resin to the vat. Now, one of the things that I would certainly recommend that you do is only fill this to about 1/3 the way up the vat. The reason for this is when the build platform lowers and it goes into the resin, if you have it any higher than that, you'll cause the resin to leak out and make one hell of a mess inside your printer. So I went ahead and filled it and then decided that I probably should do a test of the UV light before I actually get started with this print. There is some sort of a little software glitch that has gone on twice for me that causes this printer, for some reason, to not turn on the UV light. It's nothing wrong with the light. The light seems to be working, but all I have found that I had to do if the light doesn't come on is just shut the printer off and turn it back on, and it works. So by running that little test that you just saw me run there, it puts a square frame on the UV light and allows you to see if that light is working. Make sure you take your resin vat out, because otherwise you would start to dry the liquid resin that's in the vat, which would screw up your bottom layers of the print. So we are essentially ready to go. I've got my USB stick plugged into the side of the printer, and we're ready to get started with this. So the print is pretty much self-running. So we'll go ahead and we'll select the print, which is our alien plant, of course, and hit play on the printer, which will get us started, and I'll be back in a little bit once it's finished up to wrap up this video. There we go, guys. Print is all finished, and it turned out perfect. I have to say I'm very pleased with this one. So the supports that I created in the previous video, there's a link up in the corner if you haven't checked that out, caused this print to turn out perfect. So now we have a little post-processing that we have to do. So first thing first is we have to scrape this off of the build platform. Now the bottom 9 layers of this print are just a raft. It's just scrap plastic that's there just simply to hold the print to the platform. And I scrape it directly into a little bucket of alcohol, just rubbing alcohol, 99%, so that you can get the residue of the resin off of the print. After that, I scrape off the resin that is on the build platform back into the vat, and then I'll filter all of that back into a bottle of resin. You'd never want to dump it directly in because you could be dumping little lumps and chunks of dried resin back in and contaminating your entire bottle. I also take just a brief moment, if you noticed, and I just swoosh around in the resin vat with my spatula to make sure there's nothing dried on the film that's at the bottom of the resin vat. And then pretty much we're just going to play washing machine with our print and swirl it around in the alcohol to get the leftover bit of resin off of there. Now if you notice that my vat is green, that's because up until today I had only been using the sample bottle of green resin that Anycubic gave me. Just playing around with different settings and trying different prints, but now I have moved on to a bottle of black resin, which I purchased especially for my miniatures. So we'll just give this a little swirl, and then once we've got it nice and mixed, we can drain this off, and at this point the print is pretty much clean of all of the extra sticky residue from the resin vat, but we still have one more step left to go, which is drying this. So right now I don't have a UV light, but I plan on getting something. But the sun does work. Unfortunately, in my area, I have had nothing but rain clouds and overcast for days, so it only works so well. But that's where this print is going. Once it's dried out in the sunlight, I can pull off these supports, get it cleaned up, and get it ready for paint. So as always, guys, thank you so much for checking out the video, and make sure to leave me any comments if you got any questions. Hey, if you like these videos and want to help me keep making them, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button.